And we're live.
This could be any place in the world. It could be Philadelphia. It could be Tenochtitlan. It could be Rio de Janeiro. You don't know where the hell I'm brought to you from.
I think the background music gives it away a little bit.
True. It gives a regional answer right there.
Well, you don't think they like Mexican music in Kansas?
I'm sure there's parts of Olaf, Kansas that like that music.
Shit, hey, someone needs to have a 24-hour llantera repair somewhere.
I'm filming my special here live at the La Oaxaqueña.
Exactly. If I can't get reactions out of them, I ain't a comic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Crowd work on this family of 7 right here.
Comedy is universal. Who needs to understand those Japanese comics to get their speech? Just look at their faces. That's enough. That's enough comedy. But I'm glad here would be.
I thought we were just laughing at the way they talk. The way it sounds when they talk.
Because it's just like straight to the point. Get it done. Yeah, they're an efficient society.
You ever just observe someone talk in a language that you don't understand, and you're just like, there's like a pattern, a rhythm to it, you know? Like it's weird. But I actually do laugh at all these the dub movies, you know, where they're like say hello and then their mouth keeps moving, and yeah, I thought that shit was funny.
Or you're saying when they dub over it and they have to get the other language?
Yeah, when the original
like
movie
Shrek in
is
Spanish or something.
Yeah.
But the lips are moving in English, but the voiceover is in Spanish.
Yeah, and we mainly saw that with Chinese movies and shit like that. You know, the karates and stuff. So yeah, I just always thought when Asian people were talking, it was just funny, just because of the way they were talking. I didn't understand nothing they were saying, but I'm like, oh, just what
the views of Jonathan Ponciano do not reflect that of the Karl G podcast.
Exactly. All rights reserved. Any rebroadcast of this media is withheld from our administration and legal counsel.
That's right. Hey, I like to laugh, man. I'm one of them people that if I see you fall, I'm laughing and pointing.
Yeah.
Right after I help you up, but I'm still laughing and pointing.
Yeah. You laugh at it as they.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Why am I gonna act like I'm offended because you fell down? You know.
Oh yeah, don't act horrified. Laugh.
But these politically correct people, they just want to be perfect, right? And they want to act like they don't have that in them, you know, when shit happens, you know, you gotta learn to laugh at it. Yeah. You gotta learn to laugh when someone else falls. You gotta learn to laugh when you fall. But you know,
the problem is they just want to lend a helping hand rather than laugh. They want to tell everyone that they're doing a great job.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of this "look at me" type of shit that
exactly.
goes on.
Holier than thou.
It's like we are doing comedy correctly. We are blazing the scene.
Oh, I'm just working to be funny, man. I'm just whoever gets offended, whoever gets whatever, you know, it's not my intention.
Well, because a way to define funny would probably
I'm just here to be funny.
Being able to do it in front of different crowds.
Yeah, objectively funny.
Yeah.
And so the way I look at comedy is that, you know, like Patrice O'Neal said it best. Every joke, whether the joke is good or bad, comes from the same place. The place of we're trying to make you laugh. You know, whether it's a good joke or bad joke, whether it's a hateful, homophobic joke or racist joke, whatever. We're saying it because we actually thought that in our heads was funny. However, how it rolled out of our tongues may not be as funny as how we would thought of it up here.
Yeah.
And that goes with everything, you know. So I think as a comic, what we're trying to do is we're trying to picture to the public why we think this certain idea, this certain incident that happened is funny to us, you know. And most people get caught up in trying to prove a message and trying to prove a point, trying to flex something instead of let me know why this is funny, you know. Okay, you think it's funny obviously because you're on stage saying it, but you haven't explained to me why it's funny or help me see from your point of view why you think that's funny.
That's what makes a good comedian, is taking basically anything and crafting it into a joke that everybody can relate to. Because you can find a premise funny, but it takes an actual comedian to turn that into a joke that we can now relate to what you're saying, even if we're not, you know, even if we haven't experienced it ourselves, we can relate to it because you're crafting it well. You're not just saying it just to say it.
Oh yeah, because you're just trying to get a laugh out of people. It's not a reflection of who you are, or that's at least not what I try to be.
Right.
It's let's just say like some bit. I know someone in our scene, or we could say his name, Jonathan Gerber, has that bit about skull fucking a 2-year-old. And in no right mind, in no rational matter of me, do I think he actually wants to do that.
Right.
But some people may watch that and think, oh, he might enjoy that stuff. It's a reflection. He finds it funny.
Yeah.
It's like, no. It's just like when people laugh about like war and stuff going on. Obviously, war is not fun, but when another country gets invaded, the jokes are gonna pour in as well.
Yeah, no, that's I mean, and you know, I'm one of those people that I believe that you know, anything could be funny. Like you could make anything funny. Some topics, subjects, words are more difficult than others, but I believe you can poke fun of everything. You know, not every shot that you take is gonna make it. You know, but you never know. Like you never know if you need to readjust. You know, your target or whatnot if you don't shoot and see if you hit the target or you miss.
So do you think there's a line that can be crossed, or do you think there's no line? As long as you make, I think there's no line that can be crossed if you craft the joke well enough and relay to the audience that you're kidding in a type of way. But I don't think there's anything that's off limits joke wise.
Like an absurd, and like it's so absurd you shouldn't take it at face value. And think
right.
It's true.
Or now, like I would agree and disagree with that. Just to the point where, you know, there's certain, whether it may be funny or not, but there's just certain terms and certain stuff that we can't say around certain crowds, you know.
That I get.
Yeah, you know, it may be funny, it may not, but just the fact, you know, like, that there is one term or one word thrown out there that no one likes in that room, it just turns off the whole room, and you know they just go against. So it's you always want to play it by ear, you know, kind of know what you want, but it's always like you got to feel the people, you got to see. So you may go in with this, okay, I got my set list, boom, 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 and then you see a comic and they touch on a similar topic that you're gonna touch on, and that shit just killed the whole mood, and you're like, okay, I gotta readjust this joke, this set, you know. So you always gotta play it by ear. But I do believe that if you do work hard, I mean, good enough at it, you can pull it off, you know. Like there's
like Louis C.K. saying the N-word and stuff. It's like there's ways to do it that he's got the established audience where they know he's not serious, but he's crafting it in a well enough joke that he's okay. Like he can get away with saying it because it's funny, and the people are on his side, and they know he's not spewing hate. You know, it's just to make us laugh. But you got to toe that line and read the audience, like you were saying, and know situationally what and where to say it and how to say it.
Oh yeah, like what type of crowd you're in, because obviously you can get away with more, let's say, in front of a dive bar audience, because who the hell cares? This is an informal setting.
Right.
It's like, just say what's off the top of your head. If it makes people laugh, it works. Stuff. But yeah, and obviously with a book show, well, I mean, if some people walk, who cares?
You know, like, so I would have that mentality in a dive bar, in a open mic. I would have that mentality. In a book show, I would not have that mentality, because there's other comics, they're gonna follow you. You know, there's other crowds, they're gonna, you know.
Oh,
so
you're
then,
saying if other people are following.
Yeah. So if you're like walking, if you have that attitude, like fuck it, what if people walk? You know, fuck them. If they want to walk, whatever. And you know, in an open mic in a dive bar, then I'll be like, all right, cool, yeah, you know, because I'm working on jokes, whatever. In a show, then you have to come with more polished shit. You have to be more prepared for whatever happens. And on top of that, you have to keep that vibe alive, that energy. If you kill it for everyone else, bro, like, you know, you're ruining the show for not only the audience, but also your fellow comics and everyone else, you know, like, that work hard on putting that. So
not walk them for like the other people, but let's just say like you're the headliner, you're the last person, but people know what your material is, so if people are there, they should be expecting it. Because I mean,
and if people are headlining, most likely they already have the experience working with crowds and, you know, how to read crowds and stuff like that. For the majority, you know, for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just how you go into something, like just different mindsets. Like I would when I go into a show, I would not go into a show with the mentality of oh well whatever if they walk, even if I am the headliner.
Yeah.
Because there's that saying that you always remember how someone makes you feel. And if you ruin their night by that, they're gonna remember you in that bad way. But if you make them feel good that night, they'll remember you for just making them feel good, making them feel welcome. Let's say even if you did say something that they were like, oh, and then you kind of corrected yourself on it, and address it, and then kept going about your set instead of like insulting or having like that. Oh well, fuck, I don't give a fuck.
I wasn't saying like insulting the person. It's like the material you have.
Right, and so I only say insulting because I've seen comics, that they start kind of getting rattled on stage, and all they have is to start insulting people. And that just kind of tends to walk people more and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but that's where
that tends to be kind of like the go-to for the majority of people that have that attitude.
Yeah.
It's once shit hits the fan and shit don't go as they may like, that they start just throwing a fit on stage basically.
Yeah.
Dude. I've been to a mic, bro. I went to a mic, I remember, and
we don't have to say the person's name, just say the individual.
No, and I'm not even not even like I'm not even gonna say the mic's name, but I remember we were at a mic, right? And the host of the mic went to the bar side of it and purposely grabbed this lady, big heavy lady that is known to talk and heckle during people's set. This one comic, he was like laughing and clowning and just like not supporting other comics, not even walking out, like go outside and smoke and letting people, comics do their thing. Like he was there like loudly saying shit, right? Like if he was the shit, like if he was the shit. So now his turn is to go up, and he goes up, and the lady's talking through his set like she was through everyone else, dude. And then this dude like, shut the fuck up, whatever. And he fucking threw his notebook at her. Like he grabbed his notebook and he threw it at her. And luckily for him, his notebook opened up and it just landed on the floor. So then that made all of us that were just watching laughing fucking our asses off at him, bro. And he got like just red and angry on stage and just started cussing. And then he just grabbed all his shit and left.
Well, it's that kind of behavior that word will spread and you're not going to get booked anymore. But it's also that kind of mindset that you can't be a comic if you're getting fucking that frazzled by some lady talking during your set.
Well, unfortunately, that comic still gets booked. And still around, not that common, but still, still out there, whatever. And hey, man, more power to him. I hope he figures it out,
Yeah.
But that's why, like that, the mentality that you go into these certain things, and that's why I brought up like the people that do put themselves in those types of situations. They are the ones that are most likely to be cussing someone out or acting when shit hits the fan. They just
throwing a crybaby attack.
Yeah.
Is what I call it.
Yeah, I learned from Jacoby. Don't get mad at the audience. Get them on your side.
Yeah, there's a reason that they're not paying attention to your shit.
That is great advice.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's an open mic setting, but I guess obviously a book show, you do your polished material because okay, this has to work, because you don't want like a horrible set and people like, oh, this may not be any good. Like not like that. Like I was thinking my material. Like let's say half the people walk, but half the people were hysterically laughing at it.
Yeah.
Like that kind of situation.
But it's just not good for a comic to just immediately resort to verbal abuse when their shit's not working and when like people are talking during their set. You got to have some stuff that you can like rely on, some backup jokes, but also there's a way to do crowd work like that to where your words aren't hurting anybody and you're still being funny. You could still do crowd work and not be mean. But to get frazzled like that is really the mark of a not good comedian.
One that gets easily, you put them in any situation where it doesn't go how they're expecting and they're like, oh. They're just... Yeah, that's why it's good to be in different environments. Because have you ever seen some people, not even just like early on when they're starting, they've been here for a while, but they only do certain open mics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like a very refusal, I'm not going to do that.
Man, for that reason, I learned about like my second year into comedy. Lamar Mitchell Jr. had a late night open mic God, why am I not remembering the name of it? But it was just like mainly like ghetto black people in there. And
Shout out to the tap room.
For those that don't know, like ghetto black people are very they express themselves very freely, and they don't care, in a theater, in a comedy show. But as a comic, you can't come at them like that, like, in an aggressive way, because they are more likely to follow you to the parking lot,
Right.
and let you know that whatever you told them, however you reacted, was not appreciated, and that their whole family will follow them to the parking lot and join in, So going to this mic, man, like it was. I bombed the first time. I bombed. Man, like they were talking through my whole set, like they were just like heckling me, like loud, like talking loud.
Yeah. Kind of like the Apollo.
Something similar, But I already knew, like, okay, I need to win these people over, and I need to win them over with my jokes. So that just bothered me, and I went over there like the next week or 2 weeks after, and then Lamar let me go up again. And yeah, man, I got him, and I was like, man, it was such a great feeling. But it was like, you have to go to these rooms that you are uncomfortable, that they're not your regular, happy go room. Everyone's gonna laugh at everything. Like, people are gonna be real, and they're gonna tell you.
That's why you can't pick and choose your mics.
You can't, like, and you need that feedback, though. You need that. Like, we need a bomb, because that bomb, that bad feeling that I had that night going home and throughout that whole week, it gave me that hunger to go there and perform the next time I showed up.
Right.
And that's exactly what I did, because I was like obsessed with it. And after that, I'm like, oh man, these rooms are, this is where I need to be. Like right now, Belly B has one at the break room.
Yeah.
Man, that room is so sick. It's so badass.
Jacoby's got the tap out too.
That tap out.
I got a gun pulled on me there.
Yeah.
I heard some about that.
Yeah.
The guy couldn't take a joke.
He couldn't take the jokes, dude. The same kind of shit we were talking about. I wasn't winning him over, so I started doing crowd work, and this guy took it offensively. He pulled out a gun and then followed me outside. And Jacoby had to fucking pull him off me. It was crazy.
Yeah, and then, I mean, that's just it. That's why you have to watch what you say,
exactly.
Like you and those rooms like that, they teach you that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you watch, let's say, an expert like Schultz, man, Schultz insults the fuck out of people in the nicest way that makes them laugh at themselves, but he's not like, oh, fuck you, you fat pig, but like he asks some questions, he twists some stuff around, and he starts bam, 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 just shooting at them. And
he's really knowledgeable too about like geography and history.
He's very knowledgeable. Like, not only that, but like on terminologies that these like certain cultures use, or dishes that they will make.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, every time I watch that, I'm just like, man, obviously, you aspire to be someone like that, but just seeing something like that, like just that magic that he has, man, it's like admirable, man.
Yeah.
I saw a video of him at the DC Improv deal with a heckler like that. Because it was like some lady, it's like, it's fine if you don't think it's funny. It's like, don't worry, I know you're smarter than me. And then he somehow was able to twist it into he knows what funny is and she doesn't, because she thinks
I've
she's smart.
seen that.
Yeah, and it was like, this is really good. And that was like some years ago too, so obviously he's way better than that.
Yeah.
Man, Schultz has one of the funniest jokes out there that I heard on Pandora, and he talks about every culture that treats their women right, and
the best food comes out of the kitchen.
Have the shittiest food, and he's like, because there had been something like, what the fuck, Maria, and tables flipped in order for the lasagna to taste, the way your grandma made it, and shit like that, right? And then he's like, oh, there's something you don't hear ever. Hey, let's get Canadian tonight. So
because they treat their women with respect.
But it's like, here you can't say shit like that, right? Because then everyone gets all upset. Oh, you hate women, or you misogynist, blah blah.
Yeah.
But I'm like listening to his joke, and like, man, this guy is a genius. He thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
He put a lot of effort, thought, the right way to say
The
it,
wording,
the right way
the
to bring
facial
it up,
expressions, yeah,
all of
everything.
that.
The example he
And
gave.
it's like, even if you get mad, you're gonna stay mad forever because you're gonna be like, how dare they? How dare they? Oh shit, yeah, my grandma was like that. Oh shit, yeah, my neighbors, or I knew someone like. So you'll start putting the pieces together, and once again, as a comic, it is our job to get the audience, paint the picture for them as to why we think it's funny. Why is it that we're up here saying this, and how is it funny? And he does that like just perfectly.
Yeah, he's able to explain it well and not take too long on it.
But if you know about his story, like he's done all these, ghetto bars in New York and stuff.
Yeah, he ran his own shows with Akash, but he would ask the audience members questions and shit, and that's how he became so knowledgeable about all these different cultures and shit.
Yeah, but
running these shows in New York all the time.
In these situations, where he had to figure it out, and that's why I said like those became my favorite rooms in the Valley. With the one Lamar had, I think it was midnight jokes or something like that, man. And then the one that Belly B has on Sundays here at the break room. Yeah, and even I haven't been able to make it out there the second time because they had that mic before the tap out mic with Jacoby before Corona, and I've been there before, but yeah, after the lockdown, I haven't been able to get out there.
They stopped it after that guy pulled a gun out on me.
But it's starting again in May.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, from what he posted about.
I'm coming back, baby.
Yeah, no, those are good, man. Those are good. It does teach you a lot, man.
Totally.
And you definitely, like I was talking to Nick before you showed up, how I view comedy a lot like an MMA fighter. It's a solo performance, but it's a team sport. And just like that, when we go up there, we need our team to, like our coaches, watch, give us feedback, honest feedback, not hey man, you killed it up there every single time, but be like, bro, you seem a little tense, you seem like you weren't relaxed, or what happened, you missed this punchline, I noticed you didn't say this the same way, stuff like that. That they're in fighting, that's what their coaches do. They watch them and then they record them. Then after the fight, they go watch video and then they get better.
Oh yeah, a good coach will tell you when you've lost a round. A bad coach will be like, I think you won that round. I think you edged it when they just got dominated.
Man.
No, dude, that's what.
And you see that a lot. Like even in the UFC, you see when they go to their corners and they start, and that's why I was mentioning like. I see the similarities, like we're not that much different from a fighter.
Totally.
But we have to put ourselves in like the craziest of situations, the grimiest of gyms, where we're fighting, like you don't start on stage, you're fucking digging yourself out of a hole and fuck it, that's how you got to start, that's how you get better, that's how you fucking evolve and
dude, so
earn your stripes.
Working at the comedy club, my boss knows that I'm really into stand up and stuff, obviously, so she'll throw me up on stage, but she's been in the game for so long that I'll get off stage and then she'll tell me everything that I did wrong. Like it looks like I could kill it, quote unquote, but then I'll get off knowing that she's about to lay into me and she'll be like, here's where you need to work on, that was dog shit, here's where you need to work on. And then I'll be like, well, maybe I didn't kill it, and here is what I need to work on. And then I'll go home and I'll practice it, and then I'll come back and I'll take that advice and I'll get better because I'm, taking that advice that a veteran, so to speak, my coach, if we're talking about fighting, is giving me. And if you have a closed-off mindset, like I'm God's gift to earth, I don't need to take this advice, that's how you're not going to progress,
I'm the top comedian in the scene.
Yeah, and I've seen it happen, and it works to people's downfall.
Oh yeah, that's a tricky one, man.
Yeah,
that's a tricky one. You see comics that they start in the scene and they start getting booked and they don't feel the need to do any mics no more, and like they run that set for maybe a year, 2 years, and then they just kind of you don't see them again.
Even just reaching a year now, I've seen people where I constantly know they're going to start with this joke. And at some point in their set, they're going to do this joke. And it's predictable. Right. And I definitely don't want to be one of those comedians where all the other comedians walk out because it's like, oh, I've seen him before. It's like, do something different each time. Right. Or new stuff. Because I think you said about bombing and stuff. It's like the only way to get new stuff to work is you got to bomb a few of them.
there is also beauty in taking what you have already, and it might be repetitive, but there is beauty in workshopping it to make it that much better. Because it could be good, but you could take the same 5 minutes and add to it or expand on it or do something slightly different to where the comedians could recognize it, but you're still working it to make it that much better.
You're
but
saying
that's
like tweaking
sucks.
it a little to try to see,
slightly.
okay, does this work better?
Yeah.
So I get that
But it's
advice
hard
from
to do that
Josh
at open
Harrison
mics.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's like add this tag to it.
Yeah,
okay?
I like
It's
Josh a lot. I
it's
look
like
up to
use
him a
this
lot.
at the end or bring this up at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's that honest advice because it's not the person that's even when you do bad, they'll be like, oh, great set and stuff. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Exactly. And one thing I remember early on is thinking people that come up and are like, oh, you're so brave for going up. That takes a lot of... And it's like if you see enough bad people go up, you realize it is not brave.
It's like the biggest backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you have great stage presence up there. It's like, that's not what I wanted to hear. What's up, Jesse? What up?
And then, what was I thinking about with cadence or just being early on? Oh, but also because I know he's experienced, Josh Harrison, I'll just take his advice right away. It's because I understand it's genuine and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you said about a coach, someone who will give genuine advice.
Genuine advice because they want to see you succeed, having them in your circle.
Josh has given me one of the best tags that I use to this day.
Yeah,
you know,
same.
And it always hits. So yeah, it's definitely good to have people like that. You know, they're gonna. And I was telling him, you know, like people that are gonna critique you, but there's gonna be from a place of love, not from a place of let me bring him down. You know, let me tell him he sucks. Blah blah. You know, but when you do suck, you know, for them to be like, hey, bro, that was horrible, bro. Like with all love and respect, you know, like that was horrible, and you know, obviously help you on building that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because it is like fighting, I guess another way it's similar. You're vulnerable out there. Obviously, the worst thing for us is a horrible set or someone gets mad at us. Whereas an MMA fighter, it's like you could be bloodied and injured at the end of it. Have to be carried off. You could end up with like Chris Weidman and breaking your leg on the first strike of the match.
That was a crazy leg break, man.
Oh yeah, watching it too.
I think the craziest one, because we've never seen it before, was when Silva broke his leg on Weidman.
Oh,
I think that one
when
was
he
the
kicked him, and then as he was bringing it back, he like
put
pressure on it and just collapsed.
No, I think that one was Weidman. Chris Anderson Silva.
Oh yeah.
Silva, he kicked him and snapped it like when he kicked, it just like folded.
It like folded around the body,
his shin. Like it was horrible. I mean, it was.
Yeah, because the Chris Weidman one, I remember a friend before that event posted it. I was like, how did that look inside Buffalo Wild Wings?
That's funny.
Especially in the replay when they show it slowly dangle.
When Conor McGregor broke his leg, there was it was around the same time that those apartments in Florida fell, and Mark Norman had a bit about how those apartments collapsed quicker than Conor's leg or something. But it was funny. It was a good bit, and it was current.
There's something crazy I found about him. Apparently, he gets $7 per pay-per-view he headlines.
Mark Norman?
No. Conor McGregor.
Oh, I was going to say pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view, yeah. Well, it's like, so if they sell
No
$1 million,
way.
which they do practically for every, so he's making $7 million just at the start.
Jesus
Not even
Christ.
for show, not even for winning, $7 million. Is it going to start soon? Oh, no. We got that.
He's just whipping his dick out.
I felt good when he was a slight underdog on some lines, Poirier, and he won that because it's I feel good about it.
I just recently started getting into fighting. I really like Lomachenko.
Oh, the boxers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to go fight for their country right now, but maybe they'll be back. I saw Tyson Fury said he's gonna or this is likely his last fight, the one he did this past weekend. Yeah, it was. I mean, you gotta imagine. What is he, like 43 or something? Old guy, you're a heavyweight. It starts to wear on you. It's
You make so much from a fight that you could just do one fight at that level and retire, but they do it because they love it, so it's hard because you get the shit kicked out of you for fucking millions of dollars.
In front of everyone, and you get to come to the ring in a king's throne.
Yeah.
Because I haven't watched too much boxing, but I did see his third. I saw the second and third fight with Wilder, and they were crazy, especially the third one, because they both knocked each other down in the third one.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, obviously Fury knocked Tyson down, or what am I saying? Fury knocked down Wilder more often, but there were still a few times Wilder knocked down Fury.
Yeah.
And it was insane. And I think next weekend Canelo also fights again too.
Canelo.
Yes.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, because I know he's doing that one and then one against Gennady Golovkin towards the end of the year.
Gotcha.
I haven't watched boxing for a long time, other than freak show boxing matches.
Oh, when they start doing that.
No, the one obviously I've watched the
Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr.
Yes, Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. I've always been a big Mike Tyson fan, so I had to watch that one. But like the Paul, what's his name?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Or when Logan
Yeah,
fought
I've seen those. Yeah. But yeah, like I mainly like on fighting. I mainly like the UFC.
Yeah.
Like, boxing is just too.
Yeah.
Unless it's like the
There's not many super fights in boxing.
Yeah, but I don't think they don't box like they used to anymore. You know, like you. I remember when I was locked up, we weren't able to change the channel, right? So on Friday nights they had like ESPN3, and they will have like Friday night fights, and you'll catch some good boxing matches there, you know. But it was just hungry young guys that are trying to get noticed and stuff.
Yeah.
And now that you see like the pay-per-view fights in boxing, like they're not exciting for me. They're just not like I'm like this is boring. This isn't like fight,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a UFC fight, man. UFC fight could be boring. It could be one-sided the whole fight, and in a blink of an eye, the guy that's getting his ass whooped catches a dude's arm or neck or leg or catches him with a punch or it just changes.
I learned the strategy, how it's similar to chess, and I started looking at it kind of like that, and it's all, very similar with that kind of fighting strategy. It's really interesting.
Yeah, because you can decide to put the pressure on, but that means like you're playing like back in and you can walk into a punch.
Exactly.
Like,
I never thought of it like that.
But maybe you decide to do that if it's against someone with not a good gas tank. So like, okay, they'll gas themselves out, go into the second round, they'll be able to wear it down. I know also with MMA, records can be very deceiving. Because sometimes someone has an undefeated record, but it's like, yeah, you were facing, I don't know, competition that was out in the Dakotas.
Yeah, like Jake Paul, who is like undefeated or something, but he's not fighting fighters. You know what I'm saying?
He fought, let's see, he fought a former NBA player.
Yeah.
Then he fought Ben Askren not too long after he had hip surgery.
And then he fought like a DJ or something.
No, it was Tyron Woodley he fought.
Yeah.
He was supposed to fight Tyson Fury's brother, which might have actually exposed him since his brothers are legitimate boxers.
Yeah.
It's like, but he knew how to get the money. Showtime was going to pay him.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, whether you like or hate the guy, almost everyone tuned in, so, like...
Because prize fighting is about getting eyeballs watching.
Yeah,
bro,
there was
that's
money
business,
to be had.
Like, whether it's fighting or not, like, it's any business, it's about how many... Even here, like, doing comedy, at first, I used to get frustrated, right? Because you see kind of the same people. When you start with similar people, you see them getting booked over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
And then, like, you find out that they're only getting booked because they're bringing 10 plus people to every show.
The
right?
business side of comedy.
Yeah. And to me, I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, I work as hard with my jokes as this person, like I could get the crowd like this.
Yeah.
And I wasn't understanding that that's not what the booker was looking for,
Right.
because it's a business and the booker wants to keep that room and wants to, keep getting invited back there and making money there. So yeah, it's very like business is business, entertainment is entertainment, and man, you gotta get all eyes on you, man. You hear a lot of like big name comics, older comics, like complain about these like YouTube stars, but I mean, whether we like it or not, whether the YouTube star is funnier than us or not, the YouTube star could bring and fill up a venue more than us, and obviously, as a venue, that's how they make money, so that's how they're gonna keep doing it. But yeah, that takes a big part, man. Getting the following.
It's like you can use like TikTok and YouTube as credits now. You don't even need like fucking late night spots or like headlining gigs. You could just say, I've got 3 million views on TikTok or 4 million subscribers on YouTube, and now you can fucking sell out shows if you go on the road because you have people that are proven to come out for you. And I've seen it at the House of Comedy. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that with a lot of like TikTok stars because of how that's expanding, and so you get so many people in an area. And it's like, yeah, if they show up, they buy drinks. I mean, the owner's gonna be like, yeah, give them time.
Yeah, totally. Because might not be the funniest guy in the world, but they're proven to put butts in seats, and that's what these people want.
Yeah. So I mean, in that case, obviously that's outreach and such, like getting out to people as well, like socializing, connecting to others. Obviously, non-comics as well. So that's why I mean, make use of time outside of comedy. It doesn't have to be just work people, but just other social groups. Just reach out to them about it.
Totally.
Yeah. Any place you can find people. Is it about to start soon?
Probably.
Weeks. Will you start soon?
You can.
I didn't even sign up yet.
Whatever.
What's that guy's name? Is that Jesse?
No, Spencer.
Spencer?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He looks like Jesse Pollard.
Yeah. Oh, no.
We could end it now if we wanted to.
All right.
It's just a short induced episode. Who cares?
I'd like to take this time to officially come out. I'm Nick Ryback and I'm gay. Thank you.
I usually like